This video provides an overview of the data mapping tool in JMP Clinical 18. The mapping tool enables you to prepare data that might not be CDISC compliant by mapping column names from various file types to variable names from SDTM and saving the files so that they can be used by JMP Clinical. You can save your settings as a template to open and run automatically each time you get a new cut of the data. The data mapping tool is available from the Add-ins menu. The easiest way to access this menu is by clicking the JMP icon from the JMP Clinical main window. I'll select the JMP Clinical data mapping tool from the Add-ins menu, and then I can close this window. The tool has 4 components: report requirements, study input data, study output data, and add, refresh, or update study. We'll look at each component briefly in this video. I'll expand the report requirements section by clicking the disclosure icon. This section is collapsed by default because normally you won't change anything here. But if you'd like to see the domains and variables that the tool considers and attempts to create if they don't exist, you can expand the summary section. The second section is where you specify where to find your input data. And in the simplest case, you'll work directly with an input folder of data. But if your data isn't relatively close to its final form, in other words, if there are a lot of transformations that need to be made before you can use the data in JMP Clinical, you have the option to specify or record a workflow that will create the input folder files. The study output data section is where you can specify whether to have the mapping tool only create the required variables that didn't exist, or to create additional optional variables. If you choose this, you can click the Add button to select the variables that the tool will consider for creation. You can specify the output folder, which is where the tool will write the files that result from the mapping process. There's a preview section for each domain, which will tell you which variables are going to be created, and a section that allows you to specify the data sources from the input data for the new output columns. In the fourth section, you can have the tool automatically add, refresh, or update a study with the output folder from this tool as the input folder for that study. You can type a new study name or select the name of an existing study. Clicking the Add, Refresh, or Update Study button launches the appropriate study management operation. Finally, when you have all of the settings in place and you've tested them to make sure that they're performing correctly, you can save a template that preserves these settings and can be opened in the mapping tool in the future to save you time. And as part of the template, you can even specify tasks that occur when it's loaded. For example, perhaps you want the template to automatically run an input workflow and stop there. For more details about the different components of the data mapping tool in JMP Clinical, please refer to the documentation linked on this page.